Hey, Beanbag345 with you for a follow-up review on the On Compact Wireless Mouse. I did an unboxing video of this a couple months ago and said in a few weeks I'd get you a follow-up review. Didn't turn out to be a couple weeks. It took a little longer. But I was also using a Logitech mouse and trying to get some usage between my main three mice, I guess, and just kind of decide what I liked and what I didn't like about them. So this is the mouse I reviewed. Initially, I unboxed. The really nice thing about this mouse that really attracted me to it was first of all, the size. It's very comparable. It's a compact mouse. It's comparable to my M330. Um, the configuration's very similar. Look at that. The shape's a little different, but this front, it really has kind of a no interference button setup here where the body of the mouse slopes in and the buttons come right up to the body so that when your fingers overhang, while you're working, you don't get that annoying, you don't have that annoying lip in the front, for your hand to run into, your fingers to run into while you're trying to click buttons. You're not forced to do this with it. So a compact mouse can really work for you even if you have a little bit bigger hands. So I liked that. I also liked the price tag. It was $10. And I thought I may get a great mouse for $10. I may get a piece of trash that I need to either take back or, give away or something like that. But that didn't happen. This really turned out to be a nice mouse. First of all, I was right about the form and fit. It's about the same size as this Logitech M330. It's a little bit smaller. It's a little shorter. Can't see that real well with the shadows there. That's a little better. But it is a little bit shorter. It's a tad narrower, but the body doesn't come up quite as drastically on the left. So it's a little more ambidextrous, even though the buttons are on one side. It's a little more ambidextrous. Should be able to use it comfortably left or right. I tried both and didn't mind either one. I don't use these buttons very much, so for me that doesn't matter too much. I'm a three button mouse kind of guy. But the size of it is good. The weight is almost the same. I really can't tell the difference. This uses two AAA, while this uses one AA. And we'll take the top off. And the weight's fine. The weight's great. It's kind of like that M650. It feels light without feeling real cheap. I like that the sides on this are a hard plastic rather than the soft, whatever this coating is that they've put on, that Logitech put on. If they had made this a hard plastic, the whole thing, I think that would have made this a better mouse, but that's okay. This feels great. This feels good too. So the buttons, these buttons are not silent. These buttons feel great. Surprisingly, these buttons, they feel good. You hardly have to press to get it to click. There's hardly any travel there. And that's great for this mouse. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting to like it that much. And I did. And it's been a real nice find for $10. The buttons feel great. The body is a good size. The wheel, this is a hard plastic wheel on this one, which I kind of like because of, you might leave some oily residue from your skin eventually on the soft surfaces. But the feel of it, the feel of this one is better. It's better. The way this rolls, it is the line by line. You can't, you can't flick it and have it scroll several pages. It just only goes line by line. A lot of people like that. I used to prefer that, I think, but I hadn't really worked with a good scroll wheel that you can flick and make it go several lines at a time. And if that's something that won't bother you either way, this is a great wheel. The depressing this wheel, the detent kind of pressure, this is a little bit stiff, but it's almost the same as this. This one's a little bit better. But this isn't bad. It's very doable. So as far as these buttons go, this is great. These two, when you're in your browser, this is your forward and back button. I really didn't explore these much out of that, again, because I don't really use them. But there are apps you can download. I downloaded one for Windows 7 years ago that I could program all my buttons to do whatever I wanted to, and it was a real basic app, but there are apps like that you can get nowadays where you can program these buttons. Say you want one button to clear your screens and like get all your windows down so you just see your desktop, you can do that. And maybe you want pause and unpause on the other one. That's what I did on a different 5-button mouse I had. But it's up to you, you know. The thing about this is it doesn't come with, like the Logitech M650 does, you know, it prompts you to download the Logitech software so that you can program the buttons. This one doesn't do that. And so you have to go and find the app for yourself and go ahead and program them in if you want them to do something different than forward and back. But you know, that's really up to you, and you can do it. That's something that's kind of nice. It's only $10. I just you really get a great mouse in this for $10. Now, something about this mouse that's different than this one, that's different than the Logitech M650, is the DPI. The Logitech mice, both of these Logitech mice have higher DPI than what this does, and this having a lower DPI, that's essentially it's how fast your mouse moves at the standard setting. It's a sensitivity rating basically, and because this has a lower DPI than these other two, you probably, depending on how fast you want your mouse to move or your pointer to move, you might have to go into the settings and turn the pointer speed up. I had to do that with this one. I've got to make it just a little bit faster, and then it's at a good speed. I think I'd do 1 notch faster. So if you're working with multiple screens, you probably are already familiar with trying to get your mouse to do, you know, your pointer to go the speed you want to get between your screens and navigate your computer well. So that's settings. If you get this and you feel like, oh, it's just too slow, don't just take it back. Like, work with the settings a little bit and see if you can make it work for you. So you can Google how to do that. I'm not going to show that on this video, but turning up the pointer speed really helped me. So the battery life on here, because this isn't Bluetooth and it is a USB dongle, uses a USB-A dongle. It doesn't communicate the battery life to your computer to where you can see how much battery life you have. So it uses these two, I keep taking this off. It uses these two AA's, and I said in my original video, I don't expect it to get more than about 3 to 4 months worth of battery life before you have to switch those batteries out. And I think I'm probably right on that, because the, you know, if they could tout a 24-month battery life, they would put it on their packaging, and they don't. And so I think that this is probably going to be about between 2 and 4 month battery life before you switch them batteries. If you don't like buying batteries, you know, it's only you're only talking probably 4 to 6 batteries a year. Well, 6 to 8 maybe, depending on how much you use it. And that's really not bad. But if that bothers you, get some rechargeable batteries, and you know, maybe get a 4-pack and keep two of them charged and swap them out and recharge them once you have to. That's a good solution, I think. So the only con I had for this was that there's no program that it comes standard with like Logitech does to program these buttons. But that is such a small con. For $10, you can't expect that kind of thing, and you shouldn't. So maybe expect to do a little work finding an app. If you know of an app and you want to recommend that, please put it in the comments, and I'll take a look. Maybe I'll do a video on it if you know, if there's enough interest in it. But there should be apps you can get that'll help you do that if you want to. So I have one other con, and it's not with this mouse. This mouse is terrific. I got this for $10. I went to Walmart. I was going through Walmart. I always walk through electronics sections, and they had this mouse, which is the same. It's the same as this mouse, but it's got a little different top, as you can see. They had this mouse on sale on clearance, and I didn't even see this the first time I was in there, but they had it on clearance for $7. And I was like, good grief, $7. Might as well give that a try for $7. It's the same mouse. So I got it. What I found with this, and I'm going to caution you guys about it. Some people may be, sensitive to how hard the buttons are to press and stuff. Some people might not be. I didn't care before I started having some pain in my wrist and my hand when I was having I had a really bad mouse I was using. I didn't really care about it. Eventually I did care about it, and this would be something that would keep me from buying this. For $7, it's not a waste. But if I was going to spend any more money, I would have been taking this back probably, because I don't mind the pattern on here. It's kind of colorful and stuff. It's different. But the problem with it is that this pattern, when they put it on here, I don't know what kind of, I don't know how they did it, but because of the pattern, this top is stiffer somehow. And I know that and it's not just the mouse, it's not just the clickers and everything. You can take these and switch them, and it's kind of fun. I thought, well, that's kind of a fun thing about, for $7 more, I get two mice that work great, and I can switch the tops. It's kind of nerdy, I guess, but it's kind of fun. But when I switched them, I tried that and was like, wait, this feels great. This feels great. And I went back to this one and I was like, oh man, this feels a little stiffer. And so it's kind of a minor deal. If the stiffness of the buttons matters to you, it's kind of minor, but because I use the buttons and the mice so much while I'm working, it was a big deal to me. So I'd kind of advise against getting this one, unless you've already got one of these and you want to kind of, you want to switch tops and make kind of a Stormtrooper style mouse on one, or whatever. But it's still not a bad mouse. It's just the only difference between these two, obviously the color, but is going to be the stiffness of those buttons. And just take note of that. I guess it might wear your hand out more if you're a heavy mouse user. But anyway, for the price, I think this gets a 9 out of 10. I'd about give it a 10 out of 10, because if I wasn't using this Logitech or the M650 now, I'd be recommending this. Now, it is 2022. You should have a little more connectivity. A lot of these computers nowadays are coming without any, or some of them are coming with no USB-A port on them. And so you won't be able to use the dongle that comes with this. And a lot of people might be looking at that going, geez, my MacBook only comes with one USB-C or 4 or whatever they got. And so I got to buy a dongle, and you should be used to that by now if you have a MacBook. That's my bias, I guess. But I think now they're starting to put these ports back in. But if you don't have a port that will take this dongle, then this mouse you can't use with your device. So you won't be using it on Android. You won't, unless you have an adapter maybe, and you won't. If your computer doesn't have one, or you don't have an adapter for whatever ports you do have, you won't be able to use it. So anyway. Really, it's a great mouse. I'm definitely keeping it, and I'm going to be working it into my use probably, just because I like switching my mice up every once in a while and just having a little bit different experience. So whatever your thoughts are, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you do have a programmable, like a button programming app that you'd like to suggest, if that's what you use, go ahead and leave it in the comments and I'll check it out. I can't guarantee I'm going to get to a video about it. Mainly I'm only just reviewing mice at the moment, and some other things. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you find the mouse you're looking for. Thanks, and God bless.